A new report shows that resumes including they them pronouns are more likely to be overlooked. A new report finds, wow, you had to do a study on that. Wow, did you also have to figure out that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west? Did a new report also find that the sky more often than not is blue? Wow, tell me more shocking revelations. Inclusivity shouldn't just be present in the workplace. I already disagree with the premise. It should be practiced during the hiring process as well. Nope. Because the entire process of screening for candidates, the entire resume, the entire application process is discriminatory in nature. So it shouldn't just be whoever shows up and whoever checks the most boxes. They're the ones that gets the job, but then they can set the rules and set the timing and all that stuff. And nobody gets held accountable because it's all about feelings and what people should do and how employers should bend the rules for their stupid woke employees. Yeah, I don't fucking think so. But unfortunately, non-binary job seekers are facing clear bias during their job search. According to a new report from business.com, a business resource platform, kind of figured by the name, over 80% of non-binary people believe that, so they don't even have, you're just going off feelings of people that live their life at one of the most basal levels possible. My existence isn't being validated by everything. I feel aggrieved and I feel wronged. Yuck. So yeah. That would hurt their job search. How fantastic. Similarly, 51% believe that their gender identity has affected their workplace experience very or somewhat negatively. Yeah, because if that's all that you're talking about, instead of, okay, cool, you just need to go ahead and you need to put the tape on the bottom of the box and put the products inside. I don't care if you identify with a snail today. Just fucking go to work. Ryan McGonigal, all right, director of industry research at business.com and author of the report, says that these statistics show just how much work there is to do around diversity, inclusion, and equity, or DIE for short, and belonging in the workplace. Oh, so you just put the B in there all necessarily. Just look at that. How is that actually making the workplace any more efficient, any more better? Any more better? That's not grammatically correct. Any more profitable? How about that? That works a little bit better. It doesn't. It just infuses feelings over top of everything else. Because if you're digging a ditch, if you're out in the oil patch, diversity, equity, and inclusion doesn't fucking matter. It really doesn't. Can you pick up a shovel? Do you like to be cold 8 to 14 hours a day? No. Oh, you would just rather bitch and complain that the spread called you a bitch, but today you identify as a man. How wonderful. We clearly have more work to do on several fronts. Over the past 10 years, DEEB, it's just die with a B at the end. I know what the B stands for. Efforts have been prioritized by many companies. However, the results of this study and past research shows that teams in most industries aren't proportionately representative of the United States population. McGonigal tells CNBC, make it. What the fuck is that? Who cares? And worse, many people, like the non-binary individuals we spoke to in our research, feel like they don't belong. Well, 41% of the time they tend not to. Companies should. Why? Why does the place that you want to work have to bend to you? No, they have a position that they need filling. If you can't comport yourself to that, guess what? Just go. There are fries that need shook and salted, and there are burgers that need to be flipped. You can go ahead and identify and put your fucking pronouns on your name tag wherever you want. But if you want to work here, here are the fucking rules. Comply or goodbye. On top of that, they should measure their employees' sense of belonging. Why? Fucking why? Dude, I've worked a multitude of jobs at a bunch of different places. Everything short of food prep, I've done. Tech, manual labor, teaching, you name it, I've probably done something similar enough to qualify. You know what my performance was measured by? My results. It wasn't about, how did you feel today? It didn't fucking much matter. Today, when I'm recording this, I'm quite tired. I pulled something in the top of my back. bitch, moan, whine, and complain and try to weasel my way out of it? Absolutely fucking not, because I'm here, because I have videos that I need to record, and nobody's coming to save me. It's all about my performance right here. You guys watch my content, and you guys fuck with me in a good way, not a bad way, because I'm consistent, I do the work, not because I'm sitting here bitching, moaning, whining, and complaining about anything. I provide value, unlike these fuckers right here. Good. Stay broke. Continue to vote for the government that's just going to give you handouts, you useless sacks. Because it's only getting worse from here. Did Me Too change the workplace for Gen Z? Well, said this a bunch of different times and in a couple of upcoming and probably released already videos as well. I vehemently believe, as becoming patently obvious at this point in time, the intrasexual workplace, men and women working together, it's a failed experiment, 100%. There's a time and place for feelings and emotions. It's just normally in more people-orientated fields, okay? The ones where women are more accustomed to dealing with those. Those are the ones when presented in an egalitarian format. Those are the jobs and roles. Your psychologist, your early childhood development, your nursing, your care-based industries. Those are dominated by women. And then men, generally speaking, care about things and inventions. I don't think at this point in time that's a controversial statement to make. But when you start incentivizing and then just start to try to ham-fistedly infuse women into these higher paying, more technical jobs, some of them deserve to be there, 100%. I've worked with women out in the field, also in the warehouse jobs as well, especially in the teaching field as well. The women that I worked with deserved to be there. And the ones that didn't, well, they got fired or quit and then just had grievances afterwards because they sucked at their fucking job. Same with the guys as well. I don't discriminate. I like to work with competent people. Just when they come forward with all the, oh, we just need to infuse this with emotion, the feelings, and the human resources, because I feel like whenever you start to hear shit like this, you know that the quality of the work and the overall morale of everybody involved is about to shit can itself directly into the fucking ground. Let's take a look at a little bit of this. Gen Z are the first generation to start their careers in the post-Me Too era. But how much anti-harassment movement, that's what Me Too is. I thought it was just a big scam in order to get a couple of easy bucks or just to move up the corporate ladder. Tomato, right? Like many women, I remember who's this bitch? Maddie Savage. Wonderful. Watching the Me Too movement mushroom as I scrolled through Facebook and Twitter in 2017. While the hashtag Me Too was first used in 2006 by black feminist activist Tawana Burke. Yeah, the one who I forget exactly what her story was. She was either the one that did something with a minor or had a family member get Me Too'd and she had to step away from the cause because she couldn't believe the accusee was guilty of doing anything. Either or, that was the fate of the two founders to begin with. Anyways, wanted to tackle sexual violence within her own community. And it gained momentum following a viral tweet. That put Alyssa Milano. Oh my god. What does this have to do with your workaday wagey spot? Failing to see anything here. For many women in the workforce, the Me Too movement triggered conversations about the inappropriate and often illegal behaviors. Then why don't you go to the cops? Behaviors we'd encounter in our own careers, prompting a mix of anger, catharsis, and for some, painful, relived trauma. Or it was just a weapon to use and then to just drag down the morale after they just try to force their way in. It's that old meme. It's the guys that are just sitting around playing a game. Somebody shows up and is like, can I play? Sure. What are the rules? I don't like those rules, but those are the rules. Help, I'm being oppressed. That's what happened with most jobs. Like, you can even tell the dynamic. If chances are you're a guy, if you're watching this content, for whatever reason, but I am thankful, mostly because you girls have a good sense of humor. 20% of my viewership is female, which is oddly high, but I appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. Because I think you guys are, just more rationally minded. Or you just hate watch all the way through, which is fucking odd, but whatever. But even some of the bitched up dudes. But I think I pretty much trim those guys off anyways. I don't feed into any of the nonsense. Guys who are palling around, there is no taking it too far when it comes to jokes. That term only came around whenever Susan would show up, whenever Stacy would come over and just try to have a laugh with the guys. Oh, guys, we're just, you know what? Oh, your jokes are so good, Brad. And and Steve. Oh my god, you guys are hilarious. But you know who else really gives me the belly laughs? Fucking Helen. Oh my god, she just has the funniest fucking fart jokes that you have ever heard. Nobody has ever had that conversation. Nobody is ever going to have that conversation unless it is fucking mandated from corporate. Yo, I'll tell you another story. Another story from when I was assistant manager at a shoe store for a hot second. It was just fucking atrocious. Kind of like my own personal Al Bundy story, if you will. Could have been a fun job. Would have been a great job. I was really good working with customers. I'm very good at sales, by the way. But yeah, because it was a brand new management set. So I was the assistant manager, and then there was a year or two older lady that was ahead of me. And oh god, this was back, I forget, early to mid 20s. I forget exactly the time frame. It's been a minute. But she was taking her job super fucking serious, and the district manager would always come down because we had to shake out the entire store, reset it up and all that stuff. So they were there all the time. And they were really, really strong on curtailing what you could say to the customers. It's like, bitch, we're selling shoes. The fuck are you doing? And this wasn't a bitch in the traditional sense. This was a little squatty 5'8" dude who was wider than he was tall. He was at least jacked though. But he'd always find these, well, for me, they would be knee-high benches. But for him, it was waist-high benches. And then always just, just pose with his knee up. You can't see it in frame, but I'm doing it, I guess, for my own efficacy. And then he'd discuss, when you say things like, how's your day going? It's not as personal. It's not as personable. You're not really making that connection. It's like it's a fucking icebreaker, and then you just go in. You're not autistic about it by just going, I see you are in here for shoes today, madam. May I direct you in the appropriate direction for your size and fit? Well, what are the usage for your shoes that you may or may not be purchasing today? Can I interest you in an accompanying pair of slippers or slide-on sandals for this time of year? It would be... Nobody's fucking talking like that. People come across, and people are much more approachable when you meet their similar, I hate to use the term, but their similar energy. If they're coming in there and they're just looking around, they're just kind of looking lost, you just go up and it's like, hey, how's it going today? Cool. You're looking for shoes here. What exactly are you looking for? You're looking for something a little bit more of a trainer? You're looking for something that's something specific? Anything that can point you in the right direction? You're looking for boots? What kind of boots? What size of boots? You come in with that area. You come in with that direction instead of just worrying about fumbling how you're going to open. It's just... Even from working on game, realistically, your opener doesn't mean shit. Sure, you can nag off the front. It's like, wow, it's really bold to have such long eyelashes like that out in public. Are you going to the club later? Like, you could run that game, but it's more or less how you present yourself. It's about your confidence. It's about your congruency. But these autistic spurgs that are putting in these places, they don't understand any of that. They just read everything because they don't have any fucking life experience. They just read it all off of a script and, oh, that sounds good. That sounds so much better than just, your standard good morning. How are you doing today? It's because these Gen Z kids, most of the latter half of the millennial generation, I'm right at the beginning of it, 1990. Like, these fuckers, the toughest thing that they had to do was get through the meme wars of 2016. Like, I'm not saying I fought in a war or anything, but myself, I've dropped, 200 pounds by myself, working in a gym. I've worked in the oil patch with guys twice my age, and I've worked twice as hard in conditions that are twice as worse as anything else that you're likely to see. I've been out. Okay, check this. This is a day that will reign in infamy and the worst day at work that I will ever fucking have. Going in 6 o'clock in the morning. We were there had to be on site, and it was from the shop to the place. It was a 2-hour drive. We had to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. So run the numbers, do the math. It was about waking up at 4:30 in the morning, being there at the site, for 7 o'clock. I think that sounds about right. Wake up at 4:30, be there for 7, work until sundown, so about 5 or 6 at night. And what were we doing all day? Standing inside of a shack? Fucks no! Cutting a trench on a hydrovac. Y'all know what a hydrovac is? What you do, you got a big old boom. A boom that'll suck up dirt. 8-inch boom, you just move it with a little remote control that gets all nice and dirty because, how does it get dirty? Because you're using pressurized water. Check this. pointed towards the ground in order to kick up the debris that's there, and then use the boom, sucks it into the truck, which is just blasting at several thousand RPM, kicking out so many decibels of noise. What exactly are we cutting? Well, a little trench across a lease. And what's a lease? It's got those shacks. If you've seen a picture of oil field equipment, oil field setups, you know, the old pump jacks and all that stuff, all of those different shacks that are there, they are on a lease. So a lease is a plot of land that's out there. So we're cutting a trench. We're cutting a trench that's, I think it was 2 or 3 feet wide. It took us 3 days, the 3 complete days of working. So it was, oh God, if I'm to estimate, it was about 200 feet long and it had to be 6 feet down, 6 feet into the ground. And did I mention that the air temperature was 30 below and that there was a stiff wind every fucking day and not a tree in sight? It was about 50 fucking below, and you're getting smashed in the face. And this was in January, mind you, so that ground was ice fucking cold, super fucking frozen, and you were working with water around a fucking tube 10 hours a day, non-fucking stop. There is no kid, nobody in Gen Z that went through that worked, what, I'd have to check, but 40 days straight, and that's just not showing up, okay? Not like working here. Like, I love the job that I do right now, okay? And I've worked, God, when was the last time I took a day off? I guess it would have been Christmas, but I was still working on the computer, which took, that was 8 hours because I had to rebuild it all over again. But like May of last year was the last day that I actually had a full day off where I didn't do anything related to the channel. But that's still working anywhere between, at the low end, 6 hours. High end is some days, especially if I'm doing batch recording, up to about 14 hours in a day. Like, long old fucking days every once in a while. But yeah, that 43-day stretch working in the oil patch, oh my, yeah, no, that was 10s, 12s, 14s. What was it? I forget specifically. God, all of these dates are just kind of running together. Either my 20th or 21st birthday, it was in between a day when the truck died on site. The hydrovac, it broke down on site, and there were 2 days that we didn't sleep. Yeah, one day I woke up in the hotel room, slept until about 3 o'clock because we didn't get back from the site. Long and short of it is, it was bookended by 2 24-hour days over the course of 3 days. But it was all kicked off on a day where he had to get in before the road ban, so we had to leave. Had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get onto the road and to sneak in before the road ban that was set at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that didn't come back off until 6 o'clock at night. But that was all thrown into disarray after the truck died, and the rest of the story. That's me reliving my painful trauma, but at the same time, it's one of those things that I can look back, it's like, oh, okay, cool, I survived that. Mean comments on the internet are never going to get under my skin for very long, because I've had rocks under my skin. I've had dirt under my skin. I've had boxes fall on my head. I've had dozens of crying women that I needed to set out and, just set off in appropriate ways. I've seen bones break in the gym, but then at the same time, I know I've never had a mean joke. I've never overheard a mean joke before, so I wouldn't be able to identify with the anger and their truth. Fucking yuck. So yeah, you don't understand the struggle, man, of Gen Zers that are out there. Of course not. No. Me Too is important, guys, because it just fundamentally changed the workplace, because typing away on a keyboard, it's very problematic, especially if there's that creepy guy that actually, here you got all the representatives, all of these girls. Danielle Farage was aware of Me Too early in her university proximity to Hollywood. Yeah, that's about the only place that Me Too is relevant. But yeah, she managed to climb the corporate line. But some experts believe that Gen Z are more likely to speak up about workplace issues. Yeah, especially if your workplace looks exactly like that, with a bunch of chicks with problem tattoos, that stupid line down their fucking arm, which just makes them look ridiculous, with guys with soy beards and round chins in the background. Just, we need to support our queen. We need to give her the microphone so she could tell us how bad we are as individuals. Or if the men that are in charge look like that bald-headed, problem glass bedecked fuck. That's the future, man. That's the future. If you don't safeguard and gatekeep your institutions. Look what happened to Project Veritas or Proof of Concept. One of the hardest working men, one of the last good journalists that are out there. he got kicked to the curb because a bunch of people didn't like his hard work ethic and he was mean to people. Bitch, he fucking made that outlet, and you have the audacity, you have the gumption to think that we just need to have a much more caring, good touching, good feeling workplace. How dare you? And you have the audacity to check us all and tell us that you need to hire more people with fucking made up words into their pronouns. Get fucked. So, with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.